Hi there guys, it's Aaron here from Push Square, and you've caught me once again thinking about this little beauty, the PlayStation Vita. But let me tell you, I'm going to be totally honest, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole this week. My heart was all in a flutter as I went to go and play a couple of games on PlayStation Vita when I quickly noticed there was a bit of a problem. Now, before anybody worries, don't freak out, but I wanted to make this video just in case any other PlayStation Vita players out there were experiencing the same problems that I was. So if you don't know, there seems to be a little bit of a hiccup with the PlayStation Store at the moment in recognizing certain PlayStation Vita games that you've claimed through PlayStation Plus. So to be more specific, the whole thing that kicked this off was the announcement of the GTA Definitive Edition trilogy, believe it or not. Because, you know, I saw the trailer, I'm really excited to jump back into GTA 3 via PlayStation Now, play the other two games as well, of course, but I'm most excited about playing that one. And I wanted to kind of re-enter that world, and obviously the way I went about doing this was firing up my PlayStation Vita, and I wanted to play a bit of GTA Liberty City Stories, which, if you don't know, is one of the most underrated Grand Theft Auto games, at least if you ask me. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be though, because I would tap on the icon and it would constantly come up with an error message C0-9250-6 to be exact, and I think we can all agree that that is a very catchy error code. So it'd constantly flash up this error code to me whenever I tried to boot the game, and worse still, it would tell me to delete the game off of my system, re-download it from the PlayStation Store, and you know what, downloading, or at least re-downloading PlayStation Vita games on the PlayStation Store is like, it's not the most convenient task. So anyway, I went ahead and did that, and waited for it to download. Everything seemed cushy. Cushy is a word, and I went to go and tap up and boot the game again, and it still came up with the same error code. And I thought, this can't just be me. I'm ready. My name's Aaron Potter. I work for a PlayStation website and a PlayStation YouTube channel. I'm ready to bust this story wide open. Luckily though, there was no story that needed to be busted quite that wide open, because me and Sammy, editor of the Push Square website, got together and I think we found a solution now. But I will say, before I tell you obviously our workaround, or at least the workaround that worked for us, I'd be interested to know if you also came across this error, because this isn't the only one specifically related to playing and or downloading PlayStation Vita games that you've previously claimed on PlayStation Plus. So before I dive into that, let me tell you how I think we've resolved it. So here we are with the PlayStation Vita. What you're going to have to do in order to get rid of that CO error code on any games that are throwing it out is dive into your console settings, go into the PlayStation Network, and basically we're going to do something just called activating your PlayStation Vita. So you go here where it says system activation, tap on that, tap onto game, because obviously this is an error relating to game specifically, and then press activate. So once you've done that, if you've been suffering from not being able to play PlayStation Plus games, you should hopefully find that they'll be playable onwards, but before you're able to tap on them, it'll still be throwing out the error. So basically you'll want to have to delete any game that's giving you this message. Then it should be possible to download it from the store, or is it? Okay, so is it as simple as simply reactivating your PlayStation Vita inside the settings menu? We thought, at least. And I will say again, this isn't just me that had this error on PlayStation Vita. I've noticed a couple of Reddit threads, a couple of forum threads and forum posts on PSN profiles, and I went ahead and asked Push Square's Liam, obviously you know him quite well, to go and check his PlayStation Vita and try and play a PlayStation Plus game, and he was coming up against the same issue. So having resolved the error relating to the CO error code, I went ahead and started to continue playing around with all these different PlayStation Plus games on my Vita, and I bounced up against, if you can believe it, yet another one. This one goes by the name NP-9975-0, and this one is specifically relating to not only not being able to boot up the game, but even just download the game entirely. So let's say when I wanted to play GTA Liberty City Stories there, deleted the game just like the PlayStation Vita asked, went and reactivated my system settings and went to re-download it again. Well, as you're hopefully seeing in the footage I provided, I wasn't even able to do that because I kept hitting this error code NP-99750. And at this point, I'm starting to freak out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to play a PlayStation Plus game on my Vita again. I'm going to have to go buy them all. Like, which I'd happily do, but I'd hope that Sony would at least have a kind of last hurrah discount sale for the PlayStation Vita PlayStation Store, as so many people, so often speculate with this sort of stuff. But anyway, that didn't happen. Did a little bit of sleuthing online, and I think I've got another fix for this error code for you. So we're going to jump back and I'll take you throughout it. So we've got that NP error code appearing whenever you try and download a PlayStation Plus game. We resolved the first one, but the workaround for this one is a little bit stranger in that I think it works by you needing to ping the PlayStation servers at their end, specifically by making a purchase. So the way I went about doing this is simply downloading or purchasing, quote unquote, a free theme, in this case the Stitch-based one. So that's what you're seeing me do here. It's obviously being added to the download queue, which was a very good sign, I might add, for what comes next. And then from this moment onwards, it should be a simple case of whatever game was giving you an MP error before will now be available to download. Obviously, if you indeed claimed it when it was originally available for PlayStation Plus and your subscription is still active. GTA is the game I'm trying to do that with in this case, and as you can see, got very giddy there in that it would download, but fingers crossed, it looks to have been resolved. And yeah, so the health warnings showing up, this was where, you know, my conscience was eased, but I still wanted to see that Rockstar logo, and as you will hopefully see now, there it is appeared. There you go. So hopefully that will solve any PlayStation Vita players out there having problems actually downloading the PlayStation Plus games that they already own. I think it's a simple case of that you need to ping the PlayStation servers at their end by, you know, purchasing something from your PlayStation Vita. What I will say is I have no idea how you're going to get around this if you have already purchased all of the free themes, avatars and items available on the PlayStation Store. You know, if you're anything like me, I was kind of shocked myself, but if you're anything like me, you know, as soon as PlayStation release anything for free, you're going to hop to it, download it, and then, you know, reserve it for later. That's what we obviously always advise you to do with PlayStation Plus games, even if you have no intention of playing it that month or even that year. It's always nice to kind of build up your games library, and it's a similar sort of situation with this. Fortunately though, I was able to purchase that free theme and you know, ping the server at Sony's end, and from then on I was able to download every game that I'd owned via PlayStation Plus onwards relatively easily. What I will say is that even though you've pinged the server, any onboard game on your PlayStation Vita where that is still throwing out either the CO error code or the NP error code, you can delete that game off of your console, re-download it. But the final thing I will say on this subject, guys, hopefully that's helped you. Somebody might be watching this not even knowing that this is an issue at the moment, and like I said, it's not an issue for everybody. Me and Liam had this issue. Sammy didn't have one of the error codes, but he did have the other one. I can't remember specifically, but it's just another example of, you know, PlayStation's not ill treatment of the PlayStation Vita store, but kind of a sign that things are definitely starting to wind down. Following reports from earlier this year that Sony originally intended to, you know, completely shut down the PlayStation Vita store and prevent people from making, you know, purchases outright and only being able to re-download the games they already owned. It was only a couple of weeks ago now that PlayStation are in fact removing certain methods of payment from the PlayStation store outright. So I'll pop a link to the articles that we've got on site regarding those topics in the description of this video. But yeah, guys, I had a bit of a scare there for a second. I hope these workarounds have kind of been able to help you if indeed you're someone that unknowingly or not is suffering from this issue. But the outcome of the story is Aaron gets to play Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories roughly a week before the GTA Definitive Edition releases on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So there is indeed a happy ending. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you found it useful, why don't you give it a like to show some love, and possibly consider subscribing to the Push Square YouTube channel for everything else PlayStation related, where we die by the Vita. Vita means life, but we're willing to die by it, and hopefully this video is proof of that. But until next time, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.